Everybody, it's Kristina Dennis, Transformational Self-Empowerment Master. And it's Monday. I know you can't see this, but it's bugging me. I wanted to come back in. Last week was such a strange week for me. And I'm just going to tell myself, I downloaded this app called Drag and Merge. Don't do it. I became jonesed and addicted to it within, 24 hours. And it robbed me of precious time and mental space. And that was obviously something I guess I needed. I remember listening to somebody share that sometimes when she's playing words with friends, she thinks, oh, I'm avoiding something. And then she also just blesses herself and lets her go ahead and do that. And, that's that little double-edged sword. Those of us who are pursuing truth, how much do we push forward and how much do we allow ourselves to rest and step back? And so I found myself going from not knowing the game, wanting to score 10,000, and 10,000 took from Thursday morning until Friday morning after my son got on the bus. I ignored him sometimes. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm somebody who's asleep by 9:30, and I realized that I needed to delete it. So as soon as he drove off, I was over 10,000. I hit the hold button and clicked the X. And I wanted to download it again since then, but realizing that that's not going to help me at all. And, bless me, I needed that last week. I think I shared that I had had a rough weekend the weekend before, and, there are things that I need to continue to work through, and obviously never next level. Staying in your comfort zone doesn't allow you to grow into the next level. And so I guess I needed a little break, and I took it. And now I am looking toward this week and wanting to move forward on things that are really important to me. So I did my daily activities this morning, and I'm starting to plan the first workshop. So stay tuned. We're looking for the month of June, and we're just going to start with a day workshop and work through things. And I can't wait to bring everybody the details because I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. And June may be too soon, but at this point, I've got to sit down and pick a month and start moving toward it, because I love sitting with people knee to knee. I am rejuvenated and empowered and pushed through at these kinds of events. And I love the formula of going to an event a couple of times a year that's going to pull your covers, strip you down, move you forward, showing up with an intention, getting a big burst of growth, and then the monthly discipline of working with somebody at least twice a month to keep myself accountable and moving toward the things that I want, because I want to live the life that I want. And then breaking that down even to daily activities. And my activities include taking care of my body, taking care of myself, journaling, priming myself, visualization, scheduling, and doing the work I love. And the work I love is working with other people that are in the same kind of place, or maybe in a different area of their life where they want to push through and have a beautiful experience they want to transform, hence transformational self-empowerment, their lives and themselves and where they want to go. And we all deserve that. We all deserve that. So I come in here and I talk about a lot of topics, and to me, this is very cathartic. And as long as people keep telling you that they're enjoying it, I'll keep doing it. But the workshop's coming up, so keep that in mind if you're local to Southern California, or if you just want to come and have an excuse, come spend a day with me and then spend a few days at the beach. It's worth it. All right, so back to the topic of forgiveness and my mom. I spent 5 minutes today on it, and 5 minutes on the acceptance that my life is exactly as it should be. And I shared that, I think, in my last video. But today, what I did was during my priming exercise, I spent the 5 minutes of prayer and feeling the light come in and out. And when it comes in and out, the next place I directed is to all the people that I love. And I included her in that circle. And then I spent 5 minutes or so, and I will continue to do this, adjusting the narration in the narrative in my head about what my story can look like and what my story is as a direct result of some of the choices that were made prior to my birth, during my early childhood. And I can look at the good things, and I can only look at those good things because I've been willing to heal from the sad things and the pain. And I've been willing to accept it as it is, not make it worse than it is, but accept it as it is. And this work is deep and intentional and painful sometimes, but so worth the time. Because positive thinking, what did somebody say? I heard this. They're like, if your intention is to see the sunrise, but your strategy is to go east and go as fast and hard as you can, you're going to have to change something. All right. It doesn't matter how positive you are. If you're going east because you want not the sunrise, the sunset. If you're going east and you want the sun to see the sunset, you're going in the wrong way. So I believe that you got to stop and work with somebody and figure out where things are coming from. And that definitely happened in my late 20s and early 30s. A lot of people I work with, a lot of women that I work with, that's the time that things start kind of unraveling, and they start seeing like, wow, I have some characteristics, I have some belief systems, I have some processes that could use a little tune-up and they could use a little change. And how do I do that? And you find yourself a model. You work with a mentor, you attend events, you do the daily activities, and you're willing to accept what is. And for me, what is that I was born to a mother who was incredibly broken. And from all accounts, it seems that she still is. And she did what she knew how to do. At 21, she didn't have any ability to take care of me, obviously. She didn't know what to do, and she, for whatever reason, and I kind of think like when you're in an island in the Mediterranean Sea and you've been shamed and denied your pregnancy, and then all of a sudden you have a baby, you're probably not in a great place to make a perfect decision. But she handed me to her parents, the other people that in her life, probably the only people she could, I guess, trust at that point. And when she did, she walked away. And I think about the story of Joseph, being thrown in the pit and then sold by his brothers, and how that, and I don't know if you're a biblical person or not, but this is an important story, and it's been coming to me a lot lately with the things that I tune into. And so I love the idea of focusing on this, and this is how I want to look at my life. It was the fact that they did that allowed him to be in a position many, many years later to deliver a nation. And you hear that story over and over again. And that can be my story. The fact that my mother did what she did, I know is the reason why I am the person I am today. I know it's the reasons why I fight fiercely for my son, to have a connection with him, to make sure that he knows that no matter what, I'm by his side, and that I'm here. And if I can't help him, I'll find somebody who can help him. And I'm not sure I would have had that. I'm not sure, but I'm glad that I do. And I'm glad that I was willing to feel the pain, and I'm glad that I'm willing to accept it. And so that's part of where I am. That's the neighborhood I'm visiting right now. Like, okay, if Joseph hadn't been sold into slavery, he wouldn't have been in Egypt, and he wouldn't have been able to deliver an entire nation. And he did. And maybe my entire job is going to be mothering this child who is living with autism. I recently listened to a bunch of people last week who were really smart women, smart moms, and they were talking about all the different things that they do to things that they've done to heal their bodies. And I kept hearing them say, I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I'm just a mom. And I wanted to just like scream. No way is that statement an accurate statement. There is no such thing as I'm just a mom. There just isn't. And maybe part of what I will be talking about in the future is going to be the fact that being a mom is everything. It is not the only thing, but it's everything in regards to the people that are walking around on this earth, because most of the time we mothers are the ones who rose them up and started it. So I want to get rid of that phrase forever. I'm just a mom. But maybe that is just my destiny, to be my son's mother, and that's enough. And these videos help a few people. I don't know. I've had the pleasure of being of service for 22 years to a lot of people, and I continue to do that, and I plan to do it more and plan to do it in bigger ways if that's what's needed. But for today, talking about forgiveness, talking about accepting what is and not making it bigger, and seeing where my life is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So that's where I'm at today. And I just wanted to pass that along to people. Sometimes the worst things that happen to us, I would say most of the time, the worst things that happen to us, the families that don't show up for us, the character assassinations we overhear, that painful betrayal is exactly what we needed to set us free so that we could go beyond the limitations of the roles that we played in our family to bigger and better and stronger and more helpful roles. And so if you're facing something that's really painful, one, I am so sorry that you're hurting. I truly want to honor that pain, and I want to do anything but dismiss it. But I also want you to look at it and say exactly what it is and realize this might be the actual door to your freedom. So take care and have a great rest of the Monday, and I will check back in with you all later. Bye.